as Mental Health Month in Richland County and calls upon its citizens, government agencies, public and private institutions, businesses, and schools in Richland County to recommit to our community as a step toward increasing awareness, wellness, and an understanding of mental illness and addiction. And we have signed such a proclamation for you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Would you like to add anything? Would you like to?
I would like to just do a quick brief overview of the board and highlight some of the events that we have on the schedule for May's Mental Health Month. We really, our providers come together and plan events throughout the month of May to bring awareness to the community and let them know who the providers are in Richland County, if they or anyone they know needs services. So just to give you a little bit of background about the Mental Health Board, our mission is to secure sufficient funding to plan, establish, and maintain unified services primarily for the mentally ill, drug or alcohol dependent individuals, their families, and the general population. The board, the board shall encourage the development of high quality, cost-effective, and comprehensive services. We adapt to the changing needs, especially looking at those individuals with children, adolescents, and adults that need our services. We do fulfill the mandates of the Ohio Revised Code, and we really look to promote integrity and individuality to the consumers of the mental health and drug alcohol services. So the board definitely wants to continue its dedications to the recovery of the Richland County residents by seeking and managing federal, state, and local funds to address all the ever-changing needs of the community. I just want to highlight a few of our services that are available to the citizens of Richland County. We have a behavioral health crisis hotline. The number is 419-522-HELP. which is 4357. That is available 24 hours a day. So if anyone is ever in crisis and they need someone to talk to or get advice on what they should do, that hotline is available. A newer program in the last few years is our MRSS program, Mobile Response and Stabilization Services. This specifically is available to families of youth or young adults up to the age of 20. If they are experiencing any kind of difficulties, distress, or crisis, someone will actually respond to their location within 60 minutes after they contact MRSS. It also allows the behavioral health provider to stay with that family and work with them for up to 42 days after the call to help them, with the in-home services, get them connected to ongoing support and figure out the best path forward for them. It has been such a phenomenal program. The individuals can actually call 988 and they will connect them. If they request the MRSS program, they'll connect them to our provider here in Richland County is Family Life Counseling, but it is a regionalized program throughout the state of Ohio. So that is available. We also have a behavioral health urgent care, which offers walk-in hours for our citizens. That is ran by Catalyst Life Services, and it is such a amazing program to have here if someone is looking to be seen, but their appointment might be a few weeks out and they need to talk to someone that day. They can actually walk in and be seen that same day. NAMI Richland County is one of our contract agencies. Our local funds help fund numerous of their programs here in Richland County, one of which just recently occurred was the CIT program. I just want to highlight our website to encourage the public to check out our website, richlandmentalhealth.com. We have a one-pager that has all of our contracts and affiliate agencies located with their location, their contact information, their websites, and it highlights the services that they offer to the community. And then also the Richland Recovery Network. I know that is a newer resource that we have launched within the past year or two. It is richlandrecoverynetwork.com, and it gives residents essential information that they need to know about the behavioral health providers in our county. It's a very quick, concise way of searching if they are looking for a specific service for a specific age group and that type of thing. So we're very blessed. We have a great continuum of care in Richland County for our behavioral health services system. And we offer several services, education, advocacy, and much more. So I did just want to thank all the providers in our system and the affiliate agencies for all the hard work they do to help the citizens of our county. So a few events that I wanted to highlight for May is Mental Health Month is this week we have Catalyst Life Services is hosting their annual Kids Carnival. It's going to take place on May 7th from 4:30 to 6:30 p.m. On May 16th, 33 Forever is hosting.
Back up, the Catalyst, is that on their location?
It is, yes. That's going to be at 270 Sturkle Boulevard in Mansfield.
And what day and time?
May 7th from 4:30 to 6:30. So we encourage families to stop out and enjoy their event. May 16th, actually, before I go further, do you mind passing out calendars for them? That way they have those. We can leave a few as well at the front desk if that's okay.
Thank you.
May 16th, 33 Forever is hosting their 6th annual Mental Health Birthday Walk. That will be located in downtown Mansfield at the Carousel. And it begins at 10:33 a.m. May 29th, Family Life Counseling is hosting an event, Food Fun Family Life event that will be located at their location on Marion Avenue. It's 151 Marion Avenue. And that's going to take place from 12 to 2. So maybe on your lunch hour, if you want to swing by Family Life Counseling and attend their event, we would appreciate it. May 29th, we actually have 2 events that same day. So Family Life Counseling is earlier in the day. That evening, they're going to have the On My Block event at Arlen Field in Mansfield. That's going to take place from 5 to 9:30 p.m. Mansfield UMADOP is partnering with Mansfield City Schools for that event. And then ending the month on May 30th, we actually have 2 providers that have events going on. NAMI Richland County is doing their annual NAMI Walks event. That's going to be located at Marshall Park. And it's from 8 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. And then in that afternoon of the same day on May 30th, Healing Hearts is hosting in collaboration with Mansfield UMADOP a 6th annual Party in the Park, and that will be located at that is 12 to 4 p.m. So that's those are all great events that we just wanted to highlight. We do have the calendar of events on our website as well. So feel free to reach out if you have any questions, but we just wanted to.
Party in Park has line dance. There you go, Daryl.
Not line dancing.
No line dance?
Line dancing, you have to do certain. He's put on his fancy free.
What?
Going for the record.
Yeah. It's since the
Longest dance.
largest line dance, they're trying to,
Oh, at this event?
yeah, so.
Mansfield record.
We we encourage you to stop out at any of the events that are on for just to bring awareness of Mental Health Month.
Okay, well, thank you. I'd be glad to present this to you, one and all. Would you like a picture or?
That'd be great. Do you mind taking it? Thank you.
Who's in the middle here? As interim director, I'll let you hold that part of it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Yeah, thanks for coming up and letting us know about all this.
A lot going on. You guys are busy people. Before you go away, Carl, do you have any questions for our folks with mental health?
No, I got a pretty good understanding. We'll put links to the website and highlight the events coming up in May. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you, Carl.
Carl does a great job acting with us for CIT, don't you, Carl?
That's always a highlight twice a year. Thank you.
We appreciate you coming.
You got a lot of great partners, so
Thank you.
appreciate the hard work.
Thank you, guys.
you.
Appreciate you having us
Great service to the community.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much.
today.
You too.
Great day.
Okay, moving on to our agenda. Could I have a motion to certify the record of proceedings for April 28th
Make a motion to certify the 28th and 30th.
and 30th? Okay,
And I'll second that.
Commissioner Mears,
yes.
Commissioner Banks.
Yes,
Commissioner Vero,
Yes.
We have a motion to approve recommendations.
Moved.
second.
Commissioner Mears,
Yes.
Commissioner Banks,
Yes,
Commissioner Vero,
Yes.
I have a motion to approve the delinquent sewer accounts.
so move.
Second.
Commissioner Mears.
Yes.
Commissioner Banks.
Yes,
Commissioner Vero,
Yes.
Dayspring would like to have a booth at the Richland County Fair, so could I ask for, I have a motion to approve the fair contract for Dayspring?
You want that, Daryl, since you're the liaison?
yes, I do. I will
Second.
that motion.
Commissioner Mears,
Yes.
Commissioner Banks.
Yes,
Commissioner Vero,
Yes.
I have a motion to approve the resignation of a Job and Family Services employee.
second.
Commissioner Mears.
Yes.
Commissioner Banks.
Yes,
Commissioner Vero,
Yes.
And we have before us a request, a travel request for a children's services employee. Could I have a motion for that approval?
So moved.
second.
Commissioner Mears.
Yes.
Commissioner Banks.
Yes,
Commissioner Vero,
Yes.
Okay, we have a 10 o'clock.
I have an add-on.
Oh, all right.
Rachel Troyer sent a quote late yesterday afternoon, for a computer. It'd be for 3 Dell Ultra Sharp monitors. They had budgeted for it and a new Dell Pro Max micro desktop computer. That totals for 3585.18. I'll make that motion to approve.
That for Rachel Kellyanne.
Well, it looks like right now the computer is just for Rachel. She had responded. Now Jenny may need another computer. That's why they had set aside the money for it. So it's in the monitor, but there are 3 monitors that IT says they need and 1 desktop computer. And they set aside and we did approve $7,500 for the year for computer hardware.
second that.
Commissioner Mears.
Yes.
Commissioner Banks.
Yes,
Commissioner Vero,
Yes.
Is there any other business to come before we go into recess for 10 o'clock? Carl?
joined in on our meeting too.
Sorry.
Sarah joined in on our meeting too,
Oh,
while they were talking
Sarah.
too.
Oh, okay. Well, welcome to her.
Does she have anything to say?
Nope. I'm listening to see if the data center gets brought up.
It is not, and I don't expect it to be brought up
Okay.
today, tomorrow, the next day, or any other.
What do you think? I think it's a dead issue.
Yeah,
Question.
Yes.
Has anybody heard anything from him with this May 20th meeting coming up?
Nope.
May 20th meeting? When is that? And where is that?
Franklin Township, I believe it's at 7 o'clock.
Seriously, no, I hadn't heard. First I
No.
heard it.
Nothing.
Okay. Maybe keep your ears open if he does show up. I think it would be a great support if you guys could represent that if he does.
I will not be able to attend and I'm out. I'm not able to attend on the 20th.
and I will check with the Franklin Township people and make sure it's happening before I drive up there, but well, I've got it down here at 7 o'clock. I'll be there.
Yeah, I can't make it.
If it happens, I'll be there.
Perfect.
Commissioner Banks.
May 20th. What time?
7 o'clock.
Okay, I've got a commitment on that day.
Yeah, I can't make it.
Okay. Anything else, Sarah?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. It's 9:48. We'll go into recess until 10 o'clock when we have a proclamation for the drug court. The Richland County Board of Commissioners is out of recess and now in session. We're joined by the honorable judges, Naumoff and Robinson, and we're going to talk about the drug court. So who would like to be the spokesperson? You want to go ahead?
Well, we always celebrate every May. We celebrate National Substance Abuse Treatment Court. So we have a celebration, do it in Phil's courtroom this year.
May the 20th
May
at
20th,
3 o'clock.
3 p.m. We do a celebration where we do graduates and we just celebrate the people who are graduating from the program.
Yes, sir.
Yes. And we do it, I do it every year. It's our only meeting that we do in May. And we've done it ever since I've been here,
Oh,
ever
yeah.
since you've been here. And it was formerly done by Judge Henson prior to that. So we both have our own substance abuse treatment courts where we deal with people who have alcohol, substance abuse issues that are related to their offenses, low level, nonviolent. The goal of that is to get them into treatment. We partner with treatment agencies, collaborate, meet with the individuals in that court twice a month. They meet obviously with their probation officers weekly. Random drug testing, confirm they're not using, get notes from their treatment providers to make sure they're doing their treatment like they're supposed to be doing. Ultimately, the goal is hope to graduate them from the program. They'll lead a productive, sober life. They have to be those 6 months without have any uses to graduate from the program. It usually takes about 18 months for people to get through it. Some are get through in a year. Others we've had in there 3 or 4 years, depending on how many. Sometimes substance abuse is very difficult to get over. So, and we do expect, you don't expect perfection. There's usually some hiccups along the way, not always. But ultimately, the goal is to graduate them from the program. And if they are on a conversionary basis, then they don't have a felony conviction and the case is sealed. If they do go through the probation, because we do it both ways, if they go through probation, once they get through drug court, they can get off probation and then they still can have their case sealed. They do have to wait at least a year before they can ask for the case to be sealed. But that's what drug court's about. It's been very successful. Our graduation rates are always in the 80%. And we try to do it. It's kind of a tough love program that I tell them your probation officers to help you, but also to keep you accountable. And if they do make mistakes, if they are not following the rules, they do get sanctioned. Anywhere from a monetary sanction to seeing their probation officer more, all the way up to jail, and ultimately they can be terminated from the program, but that's pretty rare that we terminate anybody from the program. But that's kind of what we've been doing with the program. Judge Naumoff, if you want to.
Yeah, I mean, we appreciate the support of all the local agencies. We have a lot of agencies that are involved, Catalyst, Family Life, Healing Hearts. They all participate within our program. They're there for our monthly meetings. We meet twice a month. They're there to assist, give us updates as to participants within our drug court. Our staff upstairs, I mean, second to none. Just recently had one leave for family purposes, but for the most part, it's been consistent. They were really involved, keep an eye on everybody, and genuinely are happy when people graduate. It really is. I mean, it's significant to them in that, look, we've done our job, we've helped this person through, and we've assisted them. When people fail, a lot of times, our officers take that as a personal, failure on their own part, trying to work with them. But they're really in depth with these people. They're really involved with all their lives. They do a great job, and we couldn't do that without those people in our courts. And no, I know Judge DeWeese did not have a drug court during his time there, but I felt it was important, and I felt by having a second drug court, I know Judge Robinson picked up Judge Henson's, but it afforded more people the opportunity to do that. Right now, I don't know, I have maybe 75 to 80 people in my drug court, and you're probably pretty
40 or
close.
50?
Yeah.
I have less.
And beforehand, we wouldn't have had those people. With the new regulations and the new ideas that the state legislature does not want us putting 4s and 5s, felonies, 4s and 5s in prison, we had to find an alternative to keep them held accountable. And so, it's more stringent supervision. They're watched and monitored more closely. So This was a way to accomplish that, accomplish the goals of the legislature that not want us sending those 4s and 5s to prison. So it's worked out.
They're all on electronic monitoring
Monitoring, yep.
during the entire time they're in the program, so monitored very closely. Thank you for the support of the commissioners.
Yep.
Gentlemen, I have a proclamation for you. If I can, I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I'd like to read a couple of highlights that I think are important. One of the whereases. Whereas the expansion of drug courts following the 1994 Crime Act, treatment courts have grown to more than 3,800 programs nationwide, serving hundreds of thousands of individuals each year. Research shows drug courts reduce recidivism by 6 to 26 percentage points and save approximately $5,000 or more per participant in justice and societal costs. So therefore, we, Board of Commissioners of Richland County, Ohio, do hereby proclaim the month of May as National Treatment Court Month, Drug Court Month, and encourage our residents to recognize the important role treatment courts play in promoting recovery and enhancing public safety. I'd like to present this to you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I've attended a couple of your graduations.
Yeah.
I have two.
And stories, and it's pretty moving to.
It really is for a lot of. Thank you, Commissioner. Thank you. Greatly appreciate it. Thanks. Cliff, you did a great job. Thank you.
Always good to see the Common Pleas General Division judges.
We don't ask for much, do we?
Not 72% goes to criminal justice system. Of course, you're not in a lot of that's not yours. Majority of it's not yours.
All the money, we don't have to have a sheriff.
We did ask for a new courtroom.
Sit up there all.
That count?
Ourselves. You'd be okay with.
How's it working out while we got you on the record? Is it new
Board
courtroom
of
good?
Appeals has
Yeah,
been down there several
absolutely.
times and we've gotten
And we've got-
glowing reviews from them.
Next couple of weeks, we got to use it because Brent's got a big trial coming up and he has to use my court. I have to move my regular topic now today. And we got another trial with Judge Weiss is
Judge
doing
Weiss
more,
coming in, so
we're gonna have all three
he might be down there,
going,
too.
How about that? Look at that. We like to hear that.
Yeah.
It's paying off already.
Turned out beautiful.
Yeah, it's really nice.
It was fantastic.
And your office was very active in that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Turned out great.
Before you gentlemen take off, let me ask Carl Hunnell if he has any questions for you. Is he still on?
Yes.
Carl, do you have any questions for our honorable judges?
Yeah, just a couple. I think a year ago, the number of total participants in the drug court, I think, was listed at 132. If you added up both of your courtrooms in that area, what do you think that number is now?
It's probably fairly close to that, Carl, maybe 130, 140, maybe at the most right now.
Is there any kind of a limit to you guys in terms of numbers? Is there a number you'd like to keep, higher or lower?
There's really no limit, Carl, but because it's such intense scrutiny essentially, and we only have 3 officers available, you do get to a situation where if you put, I think, too many people in there, you run the risk of not having them supervised at the level that they need to be supervised. So it is a tremendous amount of work for officers. Our drug court officers work all hours. They're out there at night, they're out there on weekends. So and so some officers really like that. Some officers would be like, I'd like to work 8 to 4. That is not the work of a drug court officer. A drug court officer is working. And if someone doesn't appear in drug court, guess what those officers are doing? They're going to go out that night and try to track those people down and find out why did they not make their session or why did they miss. So it's intensive work. So there would be a situation where maybe with the numbers got too big, we would say, we don't want to overstretch our staff to the point that, they just can't do the kind of monitoring that you have to do in a specialty court.
Right. If obviously you guys have to operate within what the state of Ohio legislature, governor creates, but if you could wave a magic wand in state law that would improve drug court operation and success, what would you change?
There's really not anything that I can complain too much about, Carl, that we have great funding from commissioners. We have great funding from the state. We have the ability to send 4s and 5s to prison. We don't really do that very often, but we do have the ability to do that. So I really don't have much in the way of, I actually think the state and the commissioners have done a nice job in helping us fund our program such that I really don't have any complaints that if we did, we'd be telling Columbus and down there. But it seems to be that we have a lot of support for this program. Thoughts from you?
Yeah, I mean, we do have a great support locally here, state as well, for the most part. We have the community-based corrections facilities that serve as treatment facilities where we can ensure the, restrictions on our participants should they, violate for any reason, but get them some intensive treatment during that time. So that's a big plus. And honestly, Carl, I don't know what it would be that we would ask for any more than what we already have, honestly. I mean, we pretty much have everything at our availability that we need for both the courts. And just in line with that, both Judge Robinson and I also have reentry courts for people just recently out of prison. And a lot of that also has treatment aspects to it as well. And both Judge Robinson and I, we're only one of 9. Each of us are one of 9 certified courts within the state of Ohio. So
For reentry.
yeah, for reentry courts. So we do get a lot of folks in, and those usually are dictated by ODRC, who ends up assigning people to our courts once they get out of prison. And those are people that are on post-release control, generally speaking.
We are fortunate, Carl, to have a really good community-based correction facility in Tiffin that we work out of. And so we are able to send a lot of people to that program if they need inpatient type of treatment. We also have New Beginnings at Catalyst. We have VOA Halfway House. We have other CBCFs. There's one in Licking or in Medina.
Yeah, Lorraine
Medina that we can use. And then there's I know there's a halfway house in Akron that we can use. So we do have a lot of ability for inpatient, because there are people that come into drug court that are struggling so much with addiction that they really need to start out phase 1 being an inpatient, and then phase 2 that would be outpatient, and then we do 3 and 4. So we have 4 phases of drug court. Not everybody starts in phase 1. Some people don't need the inpatient, but there are people that need inpatient treatment where their freedom's restricted because they're struggling so bad. But we're lucky that we have a lot of different availability of programming, and we do have great partners. UMADOP also is involved with helping us. So we have a lot of treatment teams in Richland County that are willing to help.
Now, I know back in just a year ago, I think the number that was used in terms of a success rate or completion rate anyway was around 91%. Is that still holding?
I would think so. I'd have to get with Jason Hoover, who is our who runs our drug court, and he knows exactly. So he probably will have those numbers when we show up in May at our ceremony. But yeah, it's been very, very successful. We keep track of that. That's the goal ultimately, is to get the people back clean, sober, and productive and graduate them from the program. And to be honest, we have not had a lot of people that have been terminated unsuccessfully. We managed to, it might take 2 or 3 years, but we managed to get people through the program successfully.
This year, maybe 2, max 3 over the last year that have bombed out of the court. But, out of all the people we've had through, you're talking 2-3%. I mean, we really work hard with these people, Carl. I mean, our end goal is to get them through this program and get them at least straightened up as much as we can, get them a good base foundation for their future, so that they can use what they learned as far as getting sober and using that to reach their full potential.
Fortunately or unfortunately, I remember writing stories, or at least reading them, when we back in 1997, when the late Judge Henson started all this here in Richland County. How unusual was it for these courts at that time? And I think Judge Henson probably helped kind of lead the way on some of this. What do you remember about that, or what can you tell me?
Started one of the very first ones. His was a pilot program. So that's the one I took over when I took over as judge when he retired. But his was one of the first pilot drug courts in the state of Ohio back in 1997. And back then they were a little bit controversial because a lot of people thought it was a soft on crime idea, because there was a lot of just drug people, drug addicts, they just lock them up. What they learn though is that if you take somebody who's a drug addict and you put them in prison for 7 months, when they get out, they're generally still a drug addict and they come right back out and they start doing the same thing. So if you can't get them to be sober and productive, you're just going to have a revolving door. And so even though there was some resistance from prosecutors, police, probation officers, it's kind of come full circle to where even the prosecutors and police are like, no, these are good programs. We need these programs because ultimately the goal is to get them off the stuff so they don't keep getting arrested over and over and over again and keep getting incarcerated over and over and over again.
And understand that drug courts have really evolved over the years. When they first started, most were faith-based treatment programs. But over the years, they moved over into clinical work and now both clinical as well as medical with medicine-assisted treatment. So it's evolved over the years and it's kind of, you try everything. Sooner or later, something's going to stick, it's going to work. So they've been really proactive as far as drug courts have been concerned, trying to get to a solution that's going to help everybody. And because it's not, one size fits all. You need some different programming and everybody finds their niche there and finds what works for them. So.
Now, right before you guys came in, the mental health people were in with getting a proclamation as well. And lots of people talk about it. From your perspective behind the bench, how important is or how important are the resources available in this community in terms of the mental health treatment, drug abuse treatment? I've been in a lot of counties where maybe there wasn't this much cooperation or amount of support available.
From everything I've gathered, Richland County probably has more programming, more funding and facilities available just about anywhere else. A lot of talking to other judges that have these types of programs, they're envious of what we have. I mean, between the different counseling facilities that we have, they kind of what we have here. And I don't think we lack for anything, honestly, when it comes to our treatment. So it's something that's kind of a luxury for us. We do have options here. So that helps us when we're dealing with our participants within our courts as to what we do with them. Because sometimes, certain facilities aren't conducive to helping a certain person. So, but we do have options and that's what helps us. So.
The mental health aspect's the toughest because most of the people that we see come in front of us are either mental health or substance abuse related, which is what gets them involved in the criminal justice system. And those are difficult because if you're not fixing those problems, then they're going to keep coming back over and over and over again. And a lot of times we get them on medication, they get on medication for their mental health, but then sometimes they don't like side effects. So they quit taking the medication and then they revert back to having issues and problems. So I always tell people that when I put them on community control, one of the first things we're going to do is get an assessment to decide if they have mental health and substance abuse issues. Because if they're going to come back and see me on a probation violation, it's almost always related to either substance abuse or mental health issues that causes them to get in trouble again. So if we can get those things resolved, we get a much more likely to be successful at getting them off community control. But that mental health is difficult. Because we have treatment, but it's just sometimes difficult because those issues they just don't go away. If you're an alcoholic and you don't drink anymore, that fixes the problem. If you're schizophrenic, it's hard to fix that problem. There's medications, but it's still a little bit harder to resolve that.
Understand, Carl. I mean, when you're dealing with these folks, we have them assessed as soon as they come in. We both do a drug and alcohol assessment as well as a mental health assessment for each. And usually you'll find it's usually a dual diagnosis. There's some mental health issues along with substance abuse issues. Now, the idea here is to find out what the root of the problem is. It's the mental health conditions that are causing them to use the substances, or are the substances contributing to the mental health problems? And so those assessments that are done by the different facilities, they really help us out a lot as to guiding us as to whether those folks need more mental health aspects, or they need more substance abuse treatment programs. Usually if you can figure that out, say it's substance abuse that causes mental health, that usually takes care of the mental health issues if you can get them to stop using. And sometimes the mental health issues, if you get them on the right medications, they stop using the illegal substances, as substitutes. So, it is difficult, as just Judge Robinson indicated. The mental health is always probably the most difficult one.
And when, what's the date and time of the graduation ceremony this year?
May 20th at 3:00 in courtroom number 1.
Okay, thank you very much, judges. I appreciate it. Happy Cinco de Mayo and happy election day, huh?
It is for me. I'm good. I appreciate it.
Thank you, gentlemen, for the work you do.
Congratulations, by the way.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, with the drug court, because I think it's just a remarkable program for individual success and public safety. So,
It's nice to see for people succeed. I mean, every once in a while, somebody drop me a note, from a couple years ago and tell me how good they're doing now and to thank them.
that's got to be fulfilling, huh?
It is. That's the best aspect of the job. I also get those letters that
have
have the names too.
Yeah, you want to listen to some of my phone calls? I had a student who got into drugs and when I was going on doors, I ran into mom and she explained that he was in jail and then he went through the probation. Now, he wasn't drug court, he went to prison. But he would stop down and see me. And he's working for a company that happened to be working in my neighborhood. And he's been drug-free and married and got a kid now.
Nice.
And it's just, it was,
It's always nice to see people.
Yeah.
Full potential. That's the good thing.
Sometimes that jail or prison straightens you right up.
yeah, he was quite,
That's why I think, I don't want to go down a long rabbit hole here, but that's why I'm always wary of legislators taking discretion away from judges.
That's our.
Judges are in the best position to be able to tell. Maybe there is a time where an F4, F5 may need prison. That's not always the goal, but when you take that away, like you said, there's been times where, look, someone's gone to prison, straightened out. There's other times where you look at this person, and it's also not a one size fit all. What F4, F5 did you commit? Was there someone else harmed? Did you, that's why I always lean towards judicial discretion.
I've had numerous people come up to me and say, Judge, sending me to prison saved my life. You sent me to prison and it saved my life because it was finally straightened me out. Spending a year and a half down there in Marysville was finally what I needed to say, enough is enough. I've hit rock bottom.
Yeah, me and my wife were shopping at Walmart and some guy just sprinted at me and I'm like, oh my God.
Here we
He
go.
goes up to me, he goes, do you remember me, Judge? I said, I remember the face. He goes, you sent me to prison. I hope it worked out for you. He goes, it did. And I want to tell you, thank you.
Yeah.
He goes, it did. And so I'm like, okay.
Not a one size fit all.
No,
So then you're like,
I know.
No kidding.
I sent one guy to the CVCF and he said, I'm done. I will never get in trouble again. He did not enjoy it up there in Tiffin. He said it was all, he just said, it wasn't for me. And you know what? 6 months later, he has been.
The best one I had was that one guy that had probation in my court that had Judge DeWeese's
Oh, yeah.
picture tattooed on his right butt cheek.
Yeah, I know. That's a great story.
Oh, it was. And then he's sitting there. And
Yeah, he had Judge DeWeese's picture on his butt.
Because he violated all his conditions. He goes, don't worry, Judge. Now I'm off. I'm not putting your face on my butt. I said, I appreciate it.
heard that.
Yeah, it's great. It's a great scene. Well, hold on, we might want to recess.
10:27, the Richland County Board of Commissioners will go into recess for 3 minutes. It is 10:34 a.m. The Richland County Board of Commissioners is back in session. We're joined by Kelly Christensen from HR and our Dayspring Director, Michelle Swank. Could I have a motion to go into executive session for discipline of a public employee?
So moved.
Second.
If I could, please, Heather, could you email me the proclamations? Probably not going to stick around during this executive session, but the two proclamations from today, I'd appreciate it.
I sure can.
Thank you, guys.
Commissioner Mears,
Yes.
Commissioner Banks.
Yes.
Commissioner Vera.
Yes.
10:43, the Richland County Board of Commissioners is back in session. I'd like to have a motion for a series of disciplines. I'd like to group those together. The first one is a 3-day suspension for an employee who has a or sick leave abuse. Second employee has a total of 6 days of suspension, 3 days each for a fourth tardy and a fourth occurrence of unsatisfactory work. The next employee has a total of 2 days to be suspended for 2 different offenses. The first one is the third occurrence of a failure to observe policy, which is one of the 2 days, and a third violation of unsatisfactory work. It's also a 1 day for the total of the 2 days for that employee. And the last employee, we would like to discipline for gross neglect of duty. It's a group 3 violation, a probationary employee, and I'd like to have a motion. Have all those, the last person would be a separation from Dayspring. Can I have a motion for those 4 disciplines?
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Mears.
Yes.
Commissioner Banks.
Yes.
Commissioner Vero.
Yes.
Okay, is there any other business to come before the Board of Commissioners at this time? Anybody else online, Heather? Okay, hearing that, the Richland County Board of Commissioners is adjourned as of 10:43.
You come on, exec.